By the end of this video, you're going to be editing so good that your audience can't stop watching your video. And the best part is I'm going to be breaking this down in 3 steps, actually 4 steps, because it's going to be a bonus step at the end. So make sure you stay to the end. All right, so let's dive right in. Number 1, the biggest thing is you need to understand your audience. Depending on what niche you're in, you got to see what your audience really likes. Number 1, what they want to talk about, what questions they have. So the way I would do that is go into the comments of videos that are around your niche, and that way you can get ideas of what people are really interested in. Now, how does this have to do with editing? Because you need to understand your audience before you can even edit the video. And what I mean by that is some audiences, they don't like a lot of edits. They might like less edits. Some might want flashy things popping up, and others might just want someone talking to the camera and being relatable. It really comes down to understanding your audience and what they really need. Once you do that, it will take your editing to the next level. Which leads me to my second point, which is get to the point. In a lot of videos I see, it takes people 30 seconds to a minute just to get to the point. You don't need to have an intro video anymore. You don't need to say welcome back to my channel, because what about the people who've never seen your channel and who could click off of your video? I have a rule that you need to give value in the first 10 seconds, because here's the biggest thing. After you have your thumbnail and your title, when people click on your video, you need to validate that what they clicked on is what they came there for. And if you don't, and they're still left wondering, then they're going to leave your video. In YouTube terms, we call it the promise. Are you being true to the promise that you made from the thumbnail and the title by saying it in the video? And I'm not saying it a minute later, but saying it right away. The other thing is some people take so long to get to the point that people skip through it. If you've ever been on a video and you see where people say they don't start talking about this until blank and they put a timestamp, that's because someone took too long to get to that point. Get to that point right away and you'll have a better retention rate. Now this third step kind of relates with getting to the point, and this actually has to do with how you're editing. You need to focus on having your best edits in the first minute. Again, remember, go back to your audience. Do they like a lot of edits, little edits? Do they like pop-ups? Do they like someone just talking to the camera? Do they like examples popping up? You need to find that, and you need to put that into that first minute. You need to put all your effort into that first minute in order to keep your viewer there. Once you get past that first minute, they have already invested in your video and they know that they want to stay. And I'm going to give you an example of what I do on my dad's videos and how I keep them engaged for the first minute before he goes into what he's talking about. So in this, as you can see, all my edits, which aren't even that many, are in the first 40 seconds, because after that he goes to a screen grab right here, which is up on the screen. Again, for his audience, they like seeing this, seeing the post, and going into that. But I'm going to have you watch the first 40 seconds so you can see exactly what I mean.
Etsy confirms that sellers can use AI and still be considered handmade. And this came directly from Josh Silverman, the CEO of Etsy. And well, he basically said, yeah, you can use AI.
So what did you notice in that video? What did I do that made you want to stay? Number 1, my dad knows how to talk. Okay, so when he started this video, he instantly hit you with the hook. Okay, let's listen to the hook again.
Etsy confirms that sellers can use AI.
And by the way, his thumbnail was about Etsy and AI. So right there, he already said the title. But he's also hitting the Etsy sellers. So people on Etsy are watching this video. They know they're in the right place. Now, as far as the edits, okay, I want you to see I did a bunch of jump cuts all the way until that 40-second mark. If you don't know what jump cuts are or you don't know how to do them, go check out my other video. I will put it in the description. You can go check it out and what jump cuts is and how it can increase your retention. Now, as you can see, I have the jump cuts in there. The other thing I added, 2 things here. I put some B-roll up there. I also put the little check mark because it goes along with what he was saying. And I put a little sound. Sounds are very important because it keeps people engaged and, without realizing it, more in tune with what you're talking about because they're hearing something that gives them a little pattern interrupt. So when they hear that, they're automatically putting it along with that. And when they see the green light, they're thinking of a ding. So I put that in there on top of this picture. Now we did a pop-up, okay? It's not the same thing. It's a little different. Put a pop-up sound. Listen. All right, and I had that flash in. Again, you don't have to get this flashy, but this also keeps the engagement of the viewer. he mentions AI. So with examples, I'm putting examples that people want to see. When he says AI, people are thinking AI, so I want to put this up there so they know they're talking about the right thing. When we're talking about handmade, putting someone doing something handmade, giving the example of what he's already saying, but then putting it to a picture. A lot of people are visual learners like myself, so when we see this, we know that we're in the right place and we're learning the right way. Now I can envision exactly who you're talking about. And after that, if you look, I did not do any edits. Number one, because he had a screen up, which you could do in post edit, or if you're going through live stream like how he's doing it, you can have it on the screen while you're live streaming. Oh, and by the way, if you are interested in live streaming, the easiest way to do it is on StreamYard. And if you go to startyourlive.com, you can get a free trial to try that out. So go ahead and kickstart your live stream. And then if you look at the end of the video, it's just jump cuts. That's all it is. Because I already know if they're staying all the way to 4 minutes, they're invested in the video. So I don't need to go too crazy afterwards because they're here for that reason. Now, time for the bonus tip, step 4. And this is probably the most important out of all of them. And that is find the easiest platform to edit on. Don't follow in the footsteps of what top editors are saying, do this one, do that one. Because you need to find what works for you. I know creators who have over 1 million subscribers and they still use iMovie, the most basic software that you can probably use, and they use iMovie. So it doesn't matter what platform you use, it's whatever's easiest to you. Whether it's iMovie, I use ScreenFlow. There's also Adobe Premiere, CapCut, any of those. For me, my two that I use is ScreenFlow and CapCut. Sometimes I use Adobe Premiere, but I use it in podcasts because I'm able to do jump cuts on the video through AI. So it really just depends on number one, what you're using it for, but number two, how easy it is for you. And if you don't know which one is for you, all of these platforms usually have a free trial that you could try. So try those out, find what one fits you best, and then go start editing on it. Well, those are the 4 tips I had for you. Hopefully it helped. And like I said before, if you want to know how to do jump cuts on your videos to gain retention, go ahead and check that video out over here, and I'll see you there.